everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Madison. It is nice to meet you. I am a 1L at Washington University in St. Louis, and this is Vlogmas. I hope you guys are enjoying Vlogmas so far. I have no idea what day this video is going up on, but I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. I hope having a video every day is fun for you, because I'm having fun posting them, and I'm having fun filming them. So today we are going to do a video that was requested by a subscriber, and it is things I wish I would have known before starting law school. There are quite a few misconceptions about law school. I'm not going to get too into those, but I just compiled a list of things that I wish I would have known before I started law school. Why didn't anybody tell me these things? So I'm going to tell you so that you're prepared, so that you know. Because I feel like my expectations of law school versus reality has been so different, and it's crazy. So we're gonna get into the video. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you as a subscriber. It means so much to me when you subscribe, and you can also follow me on Instagram and turn on my post notifications as well. All right, so we're going to get into things that I wish I would have known before I started law school. I have a note, so we're just gonna get into it. Number one, the person who talks the most in class does not know everything. And further, they probably don't know anything. So do not be intimidated by these people. I know the person who in the first week of class nails all the cold calls. That's intimidating. That's like, should you even be here? Maybe you should just go take the bar right now. That's intimidating. That makes you think this person must just get something that I don't get. They must be in a different league in terms of intelligence to me. That is not true. Actually, I have found that some of the people that talk the most, if you really listen, they aren't saying a lot. They might sound smart. They might use words to make themselves sound intelligent, but they're not saying anything of substance. I can name 3 people, obviously not going to because I'm not going to expose people, but I can name 3 people in my class who every time they talk, they don't say anything. They speak for a long time, sometimes 35, 45 seconds, but they don't say anything of value. So just because somebody's talking a lot in class, just because it seems like they're nailing their cold calls, does not mean they are smarter. There are some silent people who don't speak in class who are probably way smarter. So do not get intimidated by those people. It's really easy to do. I did. I was like, oh my gosh, they must just understand this so much more. I might just not be getting it. Maybe I should just drop out. But that's not the case. So do not worry about that. Trust me, they know the same, if not less, than you do, and they're just trying to prove themselves to the professor. Boom. That's number 1. Number 2, sometimes you'll do the reading, you won't get it, you'll go to class, you'll sit through the lecture, and then it'll be even more confusing. I always thought that you'd do the reading, maybe it'd be a little unclear, but you go to class and all of your questions would be cleared up. No, that's not how it works. You're gonna come out of class even more confused. And sometimes it won't make sense for weeks on weeks on weeks, and you'll be like, I just don't understand, and then bam, it'll just click. Trust me, that's the process. The process is learning to live in confusion and learning to live with not understanding everything. Because I've counted probably less than 5 classes where I've went to the class and actually understood 100% what was going on. Maybe 5 is too much, maybe 2 classes where I felt that way. So that's completely normal for you to have your aha moment later in the semester. I just had an aha moment with contracts a few days ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, everything is making so much more sense now. So you will get it. Also, supplements. I feel like in undergrad, you never hear anybody talk about supplements. Supplements in law school can be very helpful. And your professors might even promote a certain supplement. So always ask what supplements your professor promotes. My property professor recommends the examples and explanations. It's so helpful because his teaching style does not click with me very much. So having that supplement can really break things down for me. But yeah, if you do the reading and you go to class and you still don't understand, don't worry about it, you're fine. Number 3, cold calls do not matter. They don't. And I think you've probably heard this before. Everybody says this, but I just need to say it again to get it into your brain. They don't matter. The only thing that they matter is for your public image. But who cares? I can name one. I can name one cold call that I remember that somebody did that was bad. That was really bad. Other than that, there have been so many horrible cold calls, I can't remember who it was. I literally can't. It's all about your public image. That's the only thing that matters about cold calls. Your professor, the exams are graded blindly. They're not gonna know. They're not gonna be like, this person sucked on their cold call, so you know what? 0. They're not gonna do that because they can't. So My thing is, if you know you're going to get called on, say your professor tells you in advance, yes, do the reading, make sure you are prepared, but don't worry excessively about the cold call because it doesn't matter. And don't waste all of your time learning little intricacies of the case that aren't going to matter after the cold call. Sure, you might get cold called and be able to explain the cattle selling and buying process to your professor, and you might look great, but are you going to need that on the exam? Probably not. So do the readings, make sure that you are somewhat familiar with the cases, but cold calls don't matter. That's it. And nobody's gonna remember when you blow a cold call. Just nobody's gonna remember. I've blown a few and who cares, you know? It does not matter. That's so important. Okay, the cases are designed to teach you a legal rule. Now, that's very simple, very self-explanatory, but I didn't get this. Every case in that book is in there for a reason. I know, it's 700 pages long. Surely they all can't have a reason. They do. Look at where the case is in the table of contents. That's very helpful. And always try to ask yourself, okay, this case is 12 pages long. What 1 or 2 sentences out of this case do I need to take with me, put in my outline, and use on the exam? I think it's so easy to get overwhelmed with all of the cases you have to read. You're like, why am I even reading these? All of them are in there to teach you something. So go in with that mindset of like, I need to extract the 1 or 2 things that are important out of this case and move on with my life. Every case is in there for a reason. Use Quimby to guide you. Use the table of contents to orient you to where you're at in the book, and focus on extracting that really important rule. There are no right or wrong answers. I mentioned this when I was talking about my favorite things about law school, but there really are no right or wrong answers. If you are answering a question to the professors and you are very definite, saying, I know this 100%, they will call you out on it because there's no way to know for sure. In torts cases, for example, you never know what the jury's gonna decide. You can't say 100% this defendant is gonna be held negligent. We don't know. So always avoid using definite language in writing with your professors, just in general, because the most important part is not that you take a stance, it's that you know how both stances are going to argue. That's important. You can't say the plaintiff is going to prevail on this claim and get specific performance from the defendant. You can't say that. You can say, here is the evidence the plaintiff will bring to say that they deserve specific performance of the contract, and here's what the defendant will say to counter that. That's what you need to be able to say. It's not picking a side and arguing one side over the other. It's learning to argue both sides in general. So that's very important. Your classmates might be more collaborative than cutthroat. Very, very, very big stereotype of law school is that your classmates are extremely cutthroat. People are scheming, plotting against you at all times to just take you down. And honestly, I think it just depends on your class. Your class may be very collaborative. I haven't gotten any cutthroat vibes from people in my classes. We seem pretty collaborative. So don't go in there suited up expecting to knock out your fellow classmates and succeed on the curve. You might not have to do that. I mean, if you're in a cutthroat class, you might have to, you know, take some people out, but I'm just kidding. Just kidding, don't do that. But your classmates might be very collaborative, very open to studying together, sharing study materials, sharing useful tips. I think you need to go in with the mindset that it could go either way, and a lot of classes are very collaborative in nature rather than competitive and cutthroat. And the final thing I wish I would have known before I started law school is that legal research and writing will take up the majority of your time. I always thought your doctrinal classes, which are classes like property, torts, contracts, crim law, civ pro, I'm missing 1,000 probably, those I thought would take up the most time. But that's not it. Legal research and legal writing will take up the majority of your time, and I never thought that that was the case. But I'm spending so much of my time outside classes, drafting my memo, editing my memo, researching for my memo, doing citations from the Blue Book, all of that stuff. That I'm spending so much more time on right now instead of doctrinal classes. So be aware that you're going to spend a lot more time on legal research and writing than you originally anticipated, and that's okay. I think that's how it's supposed to be. I think legal research and writing is less credit hours, but you put the most work into it. Don't be afraid when you're dedicating so much more time to that than you originally thought, because I think that's a common misconception. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video of all the things that I wish I would have known before I started law school. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you. Be sure to come back tomorrow at 9 a.m. We have another Vlogmas video going up, and I will see you then. I hope you guys enjoyed this. and I will talk to you in my next video. I just said that. I think I just said the same thing 4 different ways. Anyways, I gotta go. Talk to you guys later. Bye!